think there's episodes and moments in every anime where you can look at it and point out saying, damn, I would feel bad for anyone not experiencing this level of hype week by week. I think on surface many people look at Princess Connect and shove it off because they just don't think it's anything special, but I mean, when you really look at episodes like the latest one, episode 4, and obviously I'm going to talk about episodes 3 and 4 because I missed last week as I had an appointment, so apologies there, but holy shit, the fight scene with the golem was outstanding, and the fact that they somehow find a way to continuously impress me more visually while simultaneously making me laugh more than many anime out there, while also at the same time setting up a more serious plot line hinting at like the memories of Yuki or the dramatic cliffhanger of our princess literally being teleported in the middle of delivering that final blow to probably worst case scenario we could ask for. Holy shit, what a handful of episodes. I'm going to talk about episode 4 first, just because I think that's the most exciting out of the two, but we will be talking about both for sure. But watching this episode where we go from what we kind of expect from the show, which is some great laughs, some great faces, to then building up the mystery of the shadows, who have been a ruckus and a menace and a mystery since almost the beginning of season 1, and to see it kind of like get crazier and crazier, as in you have one of our characters who literally gets mimicked by a shadow and ends up not attacking them, which is kind of a first, because every time we've seen anything with shadows, it's basically The Walking Dead. It's pretty much a zombie army that's trying to attack, and the idea of possessing, sure, taking over a golem's body or something like that, but not just being a normal person who seemingly is very, like, goes off Yuki's emotions, right? If Yuki's trying to scare, then it gets scared. If Yuki's laughing, it's laughing. It's a very kind of creepy yet wholesome dynamic that you don't know what's going to happen at. And then to see how it builds up into the Golem storyline where we get the double body and saying like, hey, you know, if you can save me, oh shit, it's already too late, and then just gets the hell out of dodge, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, we're rapid firing into this battle, and you knew it was going to look good because there hasn't been a bad looking Princess Connect episode. Background art, always fantastic. The character designs and facial reactions, outstanding. And when they get into like their princess strikes and all these different lighting effects, like it just can't look better. Like that's kind of how it feels. And I'm pretty sure I'm not alone feeling that way. But to see the way for like almost 2 or 3 minutes, it was just them running and dodging. There was a great blend of 3D camera, 2D drawings, and just to see how they were wrapping around and getting hit and then just slicing and dicing, it's kind of hard to imagine that it got that much attention, because when you compare, even though I don't have like the biggest arsenal to draw from, these types of fights, like I can think of fights similar in like Fate Grand Order Babylonia as an example, but there's very few that I could pick from and say that level of animation detail for that scale and scope of a battle is just kind of unheard of. And to see what we just experienced in Princess Connect for something that easily could have just been like, they didn't need to go that hard. They could have had a smaller fight. They could have had, honestly, a quicker fight. But instead, they're like, hey, thanks for watching this show. Thanks for not brushing us off as just a gotcha adaptation. We're going to reward your eyes. And people are probably going to, in the distance, say, why the hell are people hyping up a show named Princess Connect? And then simultaneously they're going to see like a clip from this fight and be like, damn, what a cool anime. What is that? How the hell is that Princess Connect? Outstanding stuff. But what I love is that watching both episodes 3 and 4 together, it's actually a really interesting mystery, because in the episode 3, which is kind of like the horror episode of the series, easily the most spooky of the episodes with some of the best jokes as well, these kind of glitching effects, as then you simultaneously get to see something not from their world, as you also have those same glitching effects within the start of episode 4 as you're getting more of a hint of Yuki's past. And it's so interesting to see that they can simultaneously be some of the most wholesome, cute, outlandish show ever, while at the same time hinting at something more serious and sinister. And I really love how easily they can blend those two, because the idea of dark meets comfy, I feel like often they don't really get that nice mesh, that nice formation. But I think by having it mostly be something that is fun, but knowing there's something more sinister out there, not beating you over the head being like, oh yeah, shit's about to get darker, this or that. No, they're just saying like, you know something's off, but we're gonna appreciate the good while we have it. And that's what I liked about episode 3, where You know, there's some of my favorite jokes as well, and I know I said that in the last video as well. I think it was either in episode 1 or 2, just there were some great jokes with them eating those creatures. But the idea of this one character who calls her talking stone Rosetta, the Rosetta Stone, like, that is some of the more basic joke and kind of comedy design, but it is absolutely hilarious as you have basically the Musketeers. They're going through a haunted forest and they're, you know, I was believing like they were legit just gonna deal with skeletons or something like the end of the episode, but instead, no. To see one of my favorite kind of like supporting characters, I guess is how I'd put it, snap the neck of Carl and bury so many of the characters because she's so embarrassed about them finding out about her talking to all these really creepy wooden doll statues. And just to see that rather than explaining your situation, you would snap the necks of people. The brutality and how cute and comfy it is, like, that's what I love about it, is this show can be really violent, but when you look at the aesthetic, it's super cute. It's like, oh, it's just a wholesome slice of life family adventure. And even though it's not bloody, it still can get a little disturbing at the same time. And I love the idea that this show can literally do anything. Like, when you boil it down, it's a cooking show. It is. I think that's a completely fair assessment. It is a cooking show about a guild who wants to eat things, but because of their quests of getting good food or good ingredients for their food, they get wrapped up in shenanigans like a haunted forest that transports them to another realm, and they have to, you know, just kind of save the soul of a dead king, to then also simultaneously fighting giant monsters, and then Carl finally can connect with someone who understands the pain of her suffering, of the bullshit she goes through, while simultaneously fighting a shadow golem, and you're like, you don't know where it's going next. The show has action, it has comedy, it has slice of life, it has kind of like a mystery, but like you don't know where it's gonna put all its cards in any one episode. And that's why, whether you're binging it or watching it week by week, it's absolutely fantastic. Honestly, in terms of cliffhangers though, episode 4 probably one of the most effective that we've seen. Now granted, I watched season 1 like a couple of episodes at a time, so cliffhangers weren't really that big for me because I always had more episodes at my disposal, but it does feel like the idea of transporting someone in the middle of such an important battle and it being them of all people, like it does feel like that's kind of some of the most explosive shit that could happen. And I mean, I mentioned it in the last video I covered with the first couple of episodes of season 2, like there's a couple of mysteries, you know, Carl's guilt, we have Peccarine's kind of like, you know, true identity, is that about to be exposed before she's ready to expose it? Like, this show is fun and wholesome and hilarious, but it has its more serious elements, and when they are present, they definitely steal the show. And I mean, shit. It's gonna be interesting, right? Because it looked like the battle was done, but it actually feels like the battle's still going on because the finishing blow wasn't there. And honestly, it's hard to say what's gonna happen next because we're so close to that one character grabbing her hand and pulling her away, but it was so close, it was so in reach, and then it was just ripped away from them. Yeah, Princess Connect though, last couple of episodes, fantastic. Most likely won't have to do any more double reviews unless something comes up, but just know if you don't see an episode review when it comes out on Monday, just know I'll probably be doing a double review the following week. I just got really busy last Monday, but should be good to go for the remaining, I think, 8 episodes of this season. But thoughts and feelings, whether it's on the holy shit moments of episode 4 or the horror-filled comedy adventure of episode 3. Leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.